Delightfully devilish, Seymour.
D&D from A to Z, spells for you and spells for me. We will see what we will see today. Locals galore and monsters roar, nerds adore forevermore. Let's explore some ancient lore, hey hey. Hello, welcome. My name is Jordan Maywood and I am the Alphabetical DM. Please join me as I explore these things. I will, from time to time, 8 times now? What is this, episode 8? I don't know. I don't pay attention. Rate spells. I'll rate monsters. I'll rate locations. All that exist within the world of the Forgotten Realms, which is D&D, basically, and that rhymes, and you know it rhymes. Okay, let's see. I think that is about it for the top of the show. Okay, let me give you behind-the-scenes action, as I like to do from time to time. Folks who normally record videos such as this will get their fancy cameras out and their editing software. No, we don't do that here. It's all on the fly. It's all off the top of my head. Let's hop into today's main subject. Why don't we? By pushing, I do believe, this button now. Wrong button. What we should first do is say, Jesus Christ, off the rails. That's just about everything I say today will be an opinion. So please keep that in mind should you be commenting in the Underdark below. Thank you, please. And thank you. Oh, you get 2 thank yous. You're welcome. Let's move on to the main subject. Oh, what's this? Yes, this is the first of potentially many, as I have a lot of them, custom map discussions. So yes, I make custom maps for my campaigns. I didn't do my first campaign. I did pepper a few throughout towards the end. This, I just wanted to give an example of how you can use a fog of war effect in paint.net, which is just about one step above MS Paint, but it is free, I will say. So I make my maps in something called Dungeon Painter Studio, which we will look at some point. That'll be its own separate episode, more of a one-off episode, whereas these custom maps, I'll do a bunch. So I wanted to show you that all you need is 2 layers. So you have the layer of the fog, it's kind of behind my head here. Oh, there you go. This layer right here. And then this layer right here is the image. So if I were to switch them, see, suddenly the fog's at the bottom, and that doesn't make any sense. You want the fog at the top. But what you can do is select the fog layer, so that's just black, that's all it is. Get your erase tool. I know it's going to be too small because the default is 2. Even that's probably too small. Let's go up to a nice big 350, because these maps are very, very detailed, there are a lot of pixels in them, so... So all you do is just erase, and you can see that as you do erase, things will be revealed. This map is from a campaign that I haven't run yet, so I don't want to show too much. I just wanted to show you that effect, because the maps we're here to talk about, I don't want to save that, are these 3. So in the final session-ish of my last campaign, I had these 3... I didn't need Fog of War for them, because you would sort of, in this case, come into this portal and everything would be revealed. This was a pocket dimension, so things were sort of crazy. You could see I sort of went back and forth between... this I just used for flavor, the red and white. This is not part of it. The map is just this center part here. You could see the sort of difference between the blue and the red. So what would happen would be occasionally the gravity would switch and what is blue would be up and what is red would be down, and vice versa. So depending on where you are, you got to sort of watch yourself a little bit. They were very, very high level at this point, so I felt I could play with this and it would be okay, and it did end up being okay. There were things that they needed to get in here in order to proceed. I'm trying to be a little vague, just in case I ever want to, you know, run this again and not give main story things away. But basically, they had to come into this realm, retrieve something, and then get out again. And they did manage to do so, and some crazy things, as you could kind of tell. This is maybe I shouldn't have started with this map, just because it's pretty insane, and it's a little more... Well, I'll just move to the next one, and you'll see. So here, a little more... makes a little more sense. So, like, here's a hallway, and then had to get into this area in which a ritual was taking place. Okay, so there you can see it as a whole. So each one of these squares, that'll give you an idea of scale of this. Each one of these squares is 5 feet. So this is a big room in which these this thing is taking place. So I can give this away. So basically, there was the evil thing. Again, try not to give too much away. Was working here, and he's on stuff, and the good guys got to come in and do a series of things. The things they had to do were help the captive, because you could see around here. They had to mess with the runes located throughout, because if you know anything about runes and summoning things, which is what this room was used for, if the runes are incorrect, your summoning can go horribly awry. And then lastly, had to mess with the potion that the bad thing was working on, which that was a tough one because it was in his hand, and they were let's just say underpowered enough that they couldn't just go in and beat him up. They had to do it, you know, carefully, without giving too much away. Lastly, this was sort of the very last battle arena of the campaign. I like it because... okay, so coming in the arena here, let's get rid of this so you can see it a bit better. So you can see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, a 6-sided die, no surprise there. Each one of these colors is a different 10-foot level in height. Okay, so to go from blue to green, you're going up 10 feet. Or was it 10 feet? Yeah, it was. Like it wasn't easy. There was some... If you couldn't fly, which some of them could, again, this was at a very high level, you're going to have a little more difficulty traversing. So as high as 6 feet. Down below was this sort of mysterious fluid, and occasionally I could roll a d6, and that level would disappear for that turn, and then they would fall into this goo down below. So it was a tough fight. Obviously, the baddie's going to start here, and they got to sort of make their way to him. So even that was not easy, as he can sort of pepper them with various spells. There was other sort of coolnesses that would give story stuff away, so I won't say that. But I just wanted to, for the first map, give this example of something I did in a late game for my first campaign there, whereas ones going forward will be in the campaign that I'm just about to start. So there you go. Let's move to Monster. Don't be frightened. It's just an adult brass dragon. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, so I feel like we had all these dragons in a row. What are some of the differences with a brass dragon? First of all, their wing structure is sort of interesting. The fact that they have sleep breath is curious. I wonder what that looks like physically. Like, do I picture a gas? Maybe it's is it a cone? It's probably a cone, right? Yeah, so it's a cone of the letter Z shooting out of its mouth. and making the sound zzz, like in cartoons. Potentially. Hey, I don't make these things up. He's got a lair, strong wind blows, cloud of sands. Some of the lair actions are similar. Let's go down to, oh yeah, talkative. Okay, so yeah, this was the dragon who likes to chat, which is amusing. Chat your ear off, if you will. Let it. Have a look at some of them here. Taking care of the kids. Pretty cute, pretty cute. Brass. Okay, so my rating for Brass Dragon, the fact that they have of me using, you know what, I've just realized, I think they're quite often known for living in desertous regions, which I haven't done much in campaigns in deserty areas where things like water you have to pay attention to, so for that reason, the fact that I haven't touched them too much, I'm going to bump it up to a 3.7 for adult Brass Dragon. Let's move on to spells. Specifically animal shapes. So in our terms of spells that start with the word animal, we've had one not so great, one good. Let's see how animal shape looks. I think this one was good. Magic turns others into beasts. Oh wow, what level is this? 8th. Oh, okay, okay. Magic turns others into beasts. Choose any number. Any? Oh, okay. Within range, 30 feet. So, if you get in the middle of a cube made out of people, how many people could you fit in there? There's math involved, that is beyond me. Choose any number of willing creatures that you could see within range. To transform each target into a form of large or smaller beast. Challenge rating of 4. Holy crap. On subsequent turns, you can use your actions to transform into new forms. Wow, no wonder this is level 8. There are guaranteed cool things that can be done with this. Concentration, though. Okay, so that makes it a little tougher, just in terms of having to concentrate, literally, on the spell, or else, if you're not, it will dissipate. Duration, 0 hit points. And that the 0 hit points going over should you be hit enough. Melds. Okay, so everything else is pretty straightforward in terms of transformations in general, but it's the fact that it's so many, and the whole challenge rating of 4 means you can get some pretty cool stuff. You know what we should do is, and I don't think I've added it yet. Oh no, I did. It's right there, idiot. Let's look at specifically what monster I want. Familiar with D&D? A little view of it here, why don't you? Monsters, we'll go beast, and we'll go challenge rating 4, between 4 and 4 filter. Elephant, of course. Okay, so imagine this. Picture this, if you will. You can fit minimum around you in that aforementioned cube 10 humanoids, 10 villagers, let's say, and they surround you. You snap your fingers, you pop the spell off, and suddenly there's 10 elephants surrounding you, all fighting for your cause. Pretty cool, right? It's like having an army available. So for that reason, and there's, I can guarantee that there's potential for the spell that would boggle your mind that I just am not thinking of right now, that people have done. There's so very much here. I'm going to go an easy 5 out of 5 spell. Yeah, this one, really a lot of potential. Animal shapes, yeah. Not much there. Let's move on to location.
You have arrived at your destination.
Finally, out of the abbeys, folks. We did it. We did it. There's a lot of abbeys there. Now we're in Aberon. It was a large town in the southwest in Faerun, mid-14th century. Rolling hills, lovely. Humans, boring. Located, a great battle fought between besiegers defended. Year of the Sun Serpents. Okay, so not blowing me away. Settlement. Yeah, it's kind of vanilla, kind of nothing too interesting about it. Governed by a council of wealthy farmers. I mean, farmers in real life, yeah, we need them or we'd all be dead. But farmers in your fantasy setting for excitement purposes, I'm going to give poor Abreon a 1. Yeah, boo on Abreon. You know what? I'll never be invited back after saying all this, I realize. Okay, so I guess it's somewhere in this area. Fascinating. Fascinating. Let's move on to scenario. Probably the scenario in which I came up with that involves the 3 things going to be a little more interested than that boring town. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't crack my knuckles right beside the camera. That's not very nice. Camera, microphone. Yep. Folks, behind the scenes action, I recorded 3 of these back to back just to see if I can't apparently. Monkey wine. Yeah, I could go for some delicious monkey wine. You know what I'm going to do when this is over? I'm going to smoke a little of the old devil's lettuce and maybe get myself a little of the old monkey wine when I'm done here. What do you say? Okay, the town of Aberon is known for its vineyards that produce a fine merlot. Or merlot if you prefer saying it correctly. But I like saying merlot because it's dumb. Every year when it's time to bring in the year's harvest, I don't like the W of year. Every season when it's time to bring in the year's harvest of grapes, the town pays an adult brass dragon in magic items and stories to go from vineyard to vineyard, casting the spell animal shapes on the farmers/harvesters. The animal shape chosen is, of course, a monkey with a prehensile tail, so that not only can the harvesters swing from vine to vine, but can hold themselves by their tails, while both hands and feet can be used to delicately pluck the grapes, making for the most delicious monkey wine I have ever had. Folks, I didn't say, but if it's not evident, that these scenarios may not work in your campaign. They're more to give you ideas. Maybe you work it in your backstory. Maybe you have a magic item that turns a character into a monkey, however, only during the harvest season, and, you know, that is a possibility. I don't know, and I don't care. I do care, because here is a monkey drinking wine. It was a good year. Pairs well with bananas. Okay, I said it. God damn it. Moving on. Questions. And potentially answers. I don't know. Viewer, in quotes, because I need you watching this to throw some questions where I can pull from, because I am recording these episodes before any dropped, makes it impossible to pull questions from below, so I'm taking them from Facebook in the interim. Like this one. Characters receive a letter that says, "Seek out the gate to the Feywild. You will find it in a place untouched by destruction of man." Where would you think this place might be? Okay, so I vaguely remember this. And this actually forms, seemingly, a lot of questions in Facebook D&D related groups. It's along the lines of this, where I gave my players an item. I have until next session to figure out what it does. My thought always there is, I don't know if I've ever done that, where I've had something happen where I didn't immediately know what it did or why I gave it to them. So in this case, it's the letter. Specifically in this case, it seems even stranger because it's a letter. If it's an item, maybe they stumble across it and you haven't quite worked out all the details. But to have a letter and have what the letter says in such minute details, seek out the gate to the Feywild, blah, 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 is impressive. But then not to follow through is sort of interesting with where it is. C'est la vie. My first thought is finding a place that has not been touched by man, quote unquote. So, like the very top of the mountain, or I think even better yet, at the bottom of an ocean. And a quest could be that even if they have water breathing, the pressure at that depth will crush them. So, they need to find a way to deal with that. Maybe some sort of diving bell, or a spell similar to bark skin that toughens their exteriors. Maybe there is only one wizard who has perfected the spell. But there will be a cost that fits your storyline somehow in order for him to, or her to give it up. Yeah, so that's one thing I like, is this guy, it sounds a little bit along the lines of these sorts of questions where he backed himself into a little bit of a corner, perhaps, but using that mistake, a happy accident. Hey, I'm Bob Ross here, minus the fro, obviously, minus the fro. The happy accident of being able to use that to divert them to cool ways, like this wizard who's the only one who has a spell that can toughen you up enough to get you to the bottom of the ocean. So he has something he needs that fits into the story that you're trying to tell as a thought. So that's my go-to there, folks. We did it. Another episode down.
It's done!
It is done. And so am I, because I'm tired. And recording 3 of these back to back, not a good idea. You know what I can't wait? Is once these first 10 are recorded, and the first one starts posting, then each week I'm just going to record 1 episode, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and then, like the podcast, the Libro Cube, which you can listen to over 500 episodes at this point, I got it down to a science, so we'll get a better flow going, is my sort of reason for saying that. Speaking of that, links to that probably below, I actually don't remember. But to all my social medias, please feel free to leave questions down below for future episodes. This lovely organization, TakeThis.org, has a special place in my heart for many reasons. First and foremost is that it allows me to not beg for likes and subscribers rather, but instead to bribe for them, because for every 100 subscribers that I get to this channel, I will personally donate $10 to TakeThis.org. A great organization dealing with mental health, as well as sort of the interconnectedness they have with gaming, is a beautiful thing, and very much suits this, whatever this is, web series, I don't know, labels. I guess the only thing to say is the thing I say at the top of, bottom of, what is this, the top or the bottom? Probably bottom. The bottom of every episode. It's nice to be nice to the nice.